How's it going, folks? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a lap around my Crosstrek Wilderness. It's been a while since I've updated you guys on all the things that I've done to it. Hopefully through this video I can give you some visuals, answer some questions, kind of help you in your build with your Crosstrek Wilderness. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so let's first just gravitate our attention towards the front end here. Not a whole lot has gone on. I did add yellow film for the LED fog lights to kind of give it that nice ambery yellow appearance. I did do a vinyl overlay on the original Subaru badge because I did not like the blue. So I found one that was matte black and wilderness gold to kind of match the look. The whole front bumper, as far as the painted section goes, and the headlights, and the forward portion of the hood have been wrapped in Expel PPF just to prevent rock chips. After owning my last Subaru, I realized that the paint is extremely fragile, and living here in the Midwest, a lot of rocks get flung up and tend to tear up the paint rather quickly. My previous Outback looked pretty rough after a year or two of ownership, so this time I was prepared and managed to squeeze a PPF install in the budget, and it is holding up quite nicely. Now gravitating our attention to the top of the car, you'll see that I added a roof basket. This one is from Yakima. This is the off-grid. I have it in size medium, which I believe fits the car perfectly. Shout out to Yakima for letting me be a part of their program and get a nice deal on this setup. It has been great. I'm using it with the factory crossbars, and no, not the Wilderness specific crossbars, but just the regular Crosstrek crossbars, which are only rated for 150 pounds, but my intention is only to use the basket for luggage, so that works perfect for me. The basket itself weighs about 40 pounds, so that leaves me about 110 pounds that I can load onto the basket. Now at the back of the car, not a whole lot has gone on here. You'll notice that on the taillights, I did add some black film to kind of customize the way it looks. That just went over the reverse lamp as well as a blinker, just to kind of darken up the appearance. And then that same matching overlay on the badge was added to the rear as well. Aside from this, what does slightly change the appearance is the fact that I added Nameless Performance axle back exhaust. I did a full video on that install, but just for the sake of conversation, I'm going to insert a video clip of a cold start right here. And that's pretty much going to wrap up the back of the car. All right, now for a couple minor tweaks that I've added to the interior of the car. You'll see that that same badge that I have on the exterior is on my steering wheel, just kind of ties the whole thing together. And I did, in fact, add the carbon fiber wrap around the shifter. This was originally the Hypergloss Piano Black that scratches really easy. And of course, it got scratched pretty quickly, so I replaced it with this. Last but certainly not least, let's talk about wheels, tires, and suspension. I purposely save this for last because I know it's probably the most exciting component of the conversation. So let's get right into that. So as far as wheels and tires concerned, what you're looking at here is an NK PF05 set of wheels. These are 17 by 8.5 in a plus 48 offset. However, I am running 19 millimeter spacers by Perrin Performance, which gives us a net offset of plus 29. You're definitely going to want to take note of that because I believe that this is one of the more aggressive setups that you can run. In fact, this setup does rub, but I'll talk about that more in just a moment. For tires, we're running a Falken Wild Peak 235/65 R17, which is pretty beefy. It does increase the overall diameter 1.4 inches over stock, which means that the car with tires alone is 0.7 inches higher off the ground than it was before. But again, this setup did rub, so let's talk about that. Where it was rubbing is right where it meets the bumper up here in the front, only in reverse and only when the wheels are fully locked. But with some heating and melting, I was able to manipulate the plastic to get out of the way, and I no longer have any issues. I do want to mention also that if you have the factory splash guards, you will have to remove them, as well as they were problematic in the same way. I was getting some rubbing at full lock when in reverse. And I'm sorry, I probably should have mentioned this a moment ago, is that the car did get a 1-inch lift. So yes, the car does have a 1-inch spacer lift by Rallytech installed on it now, which does require an alignment after install. It's not something I necessarily wanted to do, but I felt like I needed to do it because of the rubbing situation. And it still needed some manipulation of the fender liners, as I stated. However, now it is clear, running beautifully, and the stance looks really sick. Another bonus item I'd like to mention is that because the PF05s have such an open spoke design, I did paint the calipers a blue color that's actually off of a Ford Mustang. I thought it was a nice contrast to the orange paint job of the car. I used one of those brush-on kits. It wasn't too difficult, and the result was pretty good. As far as future plans are concerned, you can see I actually have a 5th full-size spare. I'd like to mount that on the back of the car, but I'm having some doubts now if I want to do that. But either way, a spare is nice to have. I'm strongly considering the grill light setups by her Necklace to put some amber, markers inside the grill there, as well as potentially a bash bar up front with some fog lights, but I don't know. Part of me just wants to leave the car alone because I tend to get carried away, and it looks really good right now, and I could technically just enjoy it like this forever. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for today. Make sure that if you have any questions, you just drop those in the comments below. I'm happy to discuss anything regarding my build here with you, or any mod ideas and stuff like that for your own builds. Thanks so much for watching. God bless you all. Talk soon.